I'm not very bright. I promised a podcast. I recorded a podcast. I have no idea how to publish a podcast because the app I used had a 15-minute cap. Hooray! So this is take 2 of episode 1 of Total Chaos, Executive Dysfunction, and Other Adventures. So welcome aboard, Chaos Crew. I don't have theme music yet, or will I ever? I don't know. When you have like theme music, you can have like just free stuff or whatever, but sometimes if you don't want to use the free stuff, you have to like pay for whatnot. But then I thought, you know what? I can music. I can play the piano. I can sing. Also, immediately no. I would rather raw dog the broth out of a can of tuna than have to sit at my piano and invent some kind of theme music. So I might just record like this cacophony of my roosters and fire that up in the beginning. I don't know. I don't really think it's the most important part, but anyway, I digress. So for those of you who don't already know me, my name is Jen McIntosh, but people usually just call me Jen Mac. I am a 40-year-old mom of 4 kids between the ages of 8 and 14, and that includes a set of fraternal twins on the end, because you know what, boys and girls? Sometimes daddy wants 2 babies and sometimes mommy would like 3 babies, but then sometimes somebody in a higher power position, I guess, or the stork, I don't know, gives you a BOGO and you get twin surprise and then you double your children all at once. And I mean, I wouldn't recommend, but I wouldn't give them back either. Like, they are vibes. I'm glad it happened, but it's loud and expensive, but I love them. I'm married to a lobster vessel captain. We've been married for 15 years yesterday, and we've been together for 25 years. So when we were 14 and 15. And so his boat, actually, did you know that when you buy a fishing vessel, it already comes with a name? So conveniently enough, his boat's name was Total Chaos, which, I mean, meh, wah, wah. So one day I said, all right, maybe we should it's his boat. Maybe you should change your boat's name into something a little bit more fitting. And he looked at me dead in the face. He's like, Jen, can you honestly think of anything more fitting? And you know what? I was like, touche, baby daddy, touche. For the last 20 years, I've worked in education. I've covered various subjects from music to languages to math, which I hate very much. Not teaching it, but just math in general. And I was mostly elementary level, but last year I made a bit of a career change. And so now I'm a student services consultant, meaning that I work in a bunch of schools and we help children with emotional dysregulation or with certain diagnoses. And or sometimes we coach the grown-ups too on what to do. And I'm going to really jump into behavior a little bit later because it's something that as I've been learning, I've been doing a lot of self-discovery of not only myself, but myself as a parent, myself as a friend, myself as a coworker, myself as a wife, because behaviors are quite complex and rather cool, if I may. Yeah, I am a hobby slut. And that means that I have obsessions and I will buy and buy and buy. So, for example, I crochet. Because you know what? I know everybody is horned up to buy some crochet. I have dishcloths and lanyards and cute little teddies, all in a couple big totes in my office, never to be seen or heard from again. However, I have not picked up a crochet hook in several months. If I were to crochet every single day for the next 150 years, I would still have yarn left over. My office looks like Michael's because I just had to do it because this is how it's done. This is how I'm going to buy my pontoon boat and my yacht and my mansion by selling crochet. Poorly made crochet. So anyway, that being said, hobby slut. Now we're into the podcast. So, I mean, if one day it just vanishes, it's gone, don't be surprised. That's literally how I roll. I've probably taken up basket weaving or something. It's just my personality. I have a very warped sense of humor. I use colorful words. I often think that I my words are meaningless in the sense that I talk a lot, but don't necessarily put meaning or feeling behind what I'm actually saying. So, for example, if I'm angry about something, I am a venter. I need to vent. If I hold it in, if I repress, I will immediately decease from several aneurysms, perhaps arrhythmias, cardiac neurological episodes. I cannot hold it in. And I need to be as vulgar and dramatic and just a terrible garbage human when I unload. But that is really a preventative measure keeping me alive. And I've always kind of been like that. And so when I was younger, I mean, when you're a kid, you're not allowed to use bad words, of course. So I, I found it kind of hard sometimes to really express myself because, you stub your toe and you're like, oh, fiddle dee dee dee. And I found sometimes people would misunderstand me or misinterpret what I was trying to say. And so I think that because I was limited on how I could really express myself, as a mom, I don't really monitor language as much. We do have rules, but my kids are allowed to say bad words under the premise that they are meant to help you express yourself. They are not directed towards a person or group of people, or they are not obviously to diminish a certain culture or anything like that. But if my kid stubs their toe and says shit, or, I'm okay with that because it's part of language. And, I think it's important that everybody can express themselves. So if you're offended by the occasional bad word, I don't think I can help it, honestly, because it would really take away from the content. I'm going to be myself. I'm going to be my raw, neuro spicy, uncandid, unfiltered self. So what I'm hoping that people really get out of this, and I feel like I've already kind of witnessed the possibilities. So as I've been, on this journey in behaviors and education and how people think and whatnot, I've done a lot of self-reflection, like I already said. But as I'm kind of analyzing little quirky shit, I started posting on Facebook, kind of my little segment called "Why Am I Like This?" And just to kind of see, is it just me? Am I the only one who has certain dishes in the house that I use and others that are off limits? We have that one fork that, no, that's hot lava. I will literally eat with my hands. I don't care. I am not using that fork. I hate it. It does not belong, but I can't get rid of it because it is a fork. It's functional. It's good. It's just not mine, not for me. I do a bunch of weird shit. And I think a lot of other people do a bunch of weird shit, but we're too scared to tell other people about our weird shit. And so we keep it all under wraps, and then we mask and we don't do our weird shit. And then we get home and we're just one big vocal stim of exhausted, well-mulated nonsense. No, just me? Okay, great. So basically, I'm hoping to reach out that you know what? And especially I guess I have a soft spot for women my age because I think it's kind of more, women try to be a little bit more filtered because we're ladies and we need to be respectful and nice for the men. But basically, you're all fucking weirdos, and I love it. I love it. Let's stop being ashamed or embarrassed about being a weirdo, because what even is normal? I don't even like that word. I always say typical, because certain things are normal. We have societal norms. We have, things, the way things should be. But how much time do we spend actually questioning those things and why they're like that? And I mean, this isn't really behavior, but I'm just, for an example, I want to know who signed or wrote up and signed the contract that in 98% of households, it is the mom that is responsible for planning the meals, purchasing the ingredients, preparing the ingredients, feeding them to your family, who 50% of them think you're trying to poison them at a given time, and then clean said meal, rinse, lather, repeat. I want to punch you in the larynx, ma'am or sir. That's why. Why is it like this? Why is it the woman who has to do that? And it's not like that in every household. And I mean, and it's not always like that in my household, but just often enough that it's just like that preconceived notion. So like we need to kind of question why things are the way they are, whether at home, whether with your friends, whether at school, whether just everything. What makes us tick? Why are we weird? What makes us weird? Who are we weird to? I think weirdness is just measured by the ability that the people you're with have to tolerate you. We all know somebody that we cannot stand. Somebody is annoying. Why? Well, I think it's because we're just personally triggered. They say shit that we don't like. It goes against our beliefs, our morals, our values. And so they're going to piss you off. But maybe they have many, many besties that are just like them. They're weird, you're weird. Maybe you piss them off, but it's just kind of diversity. We have different cultures, different languages, we have different races, different genders. Let's have different weirds. And it's okay if you can't stand somebody's weird. It's fine. But that's a you problem and not a them problem, essentially, until we then have to go back and question the societal norms about it. Are you still with me? That was a lot to unpack. Basically, be weird. Love you. Love you weird. Okay? So that was basically, that was a short story long, really. I apologize. But no, I mean, I apologize unapologetically because this is basically what you can expect. Have you ever like put on YouTube and then forgotten about it? And then you let YouTube run for like a good, I don't even know anymore. I don't YouTube, but I have TikTok, but you let it run unattended and then you come back and there's like, Mario and Luigi is pregnant and then like Elsa's your accountant. Like that's pretty much this podcast in a nutshell. There's going to be a lot of squirreling. I have 48.5 tabs and you can't even have 0.5 of a tab, but I do. I have 48.5 tabs open at all times. And each of them is just a little bit more important than the other. So I'm going to be hopping back and forth a lot. You may need to like chart this in order to really follow, but that's okay. If you're having a hard time, I am all about accessibility. We have little hacks all over my house. We'll make it more accessible, I promise. And so anyway, I am a professional procrastinator, and I finally kind of unearthed why. And it's very interesting. Now, I think this has been proven. I actually heard it somewhere. This isn't my own theory. I would like to give credit to whoever said it, but anyway, it makes sense. If you really need that validation, I'll find it somewhere. I don't know. And if you're like that, like, get wrecked, nerd. Really, I'm saying a thing, okay? It's not the internet, but kind of. So everything's got to be true, right? Shut up. So anyway, it's like the struggle of like, procrastinating. The struggle of like, I have to do this, but also immediately fucking no. And an example of that today was one of my kids needed a shower. Like we've been at the camper, we're pretty, garbagey at this point. There's a slight essence, I think. So yeah, she needed a shower. She didn't want to take a shower, and I was like, hey, I get it. I hate taking a shower. Showers are an absolute sensory fucking nightmare. But we need to take care of our body. The brain, when it has something that it has to do, the neurospicy brain, I don't know about you normies, like probably get up and have your little shower and you're like, wee, the whole time, I don't know. So when the brain has something that it actually has to do, if you're spicy, it's going to be like, nope, we're not doing that. That's a bad thing. That is not dopamine. That is a waste of time. And so we're going to put it off and put it off. However, I told said child, trick your brain. So you're going to have a spa day. It's going to be so relaxing. Like this is going to be the best shower you have ever taken. And so when you change that perspective of I absolutely do not want to do this to I will just take one for the team and this is going to be lovely, it helps. And it doesn't help in the moment, but it helps if you keep doing that, if you kind of build up that resilience, that tolerance. So try it. Next time you have something that you're really procrastinating about, try that little strategy of like, I want to do this. Because I mean, depending on your level of neurospice, some people, it's even a struggle just to go to the washroom. Like, you don't want to. I don't want to. I'm going to put it off until I'm ready to friggin' shit myself. And you know what? It's a thing. It's normal. If you do it, you're normal. Well, wait, I hate that word. You're not normal. You're exactly the opposite, which is more normal than actually normal. So again, if you need to chart that, I get it. Totally fine. So basically, on the neurospicy subject, so I call it neurospicy. Some of you may call it ADHD. They are not the same. Why? ADHD is a diagnosis. It is a pathological thing. It's in the DSM-5. There are symptoms, there are medications, there are treatments. It's a thing. Like, and you can't have a little bit of it. You're in or you're out. You can't be a little bit diabetic or a little bit pregnant. So, and the same with autism. You know, we always kind of joke and say, oh, I've got a touch of the tism. And I mean, if you can take a joke, I don't think that I'm not I look at families who are struggling and I'm sure they want to punch everybody who says that in the face. So we're not downplaying the struggles of autism. But just because you're quirky does not mean that you have autism or that you have ADHD. Those things are clinically diagnosed. If you're just weird, you're neurospicy. Chances are, if I was assessed, there probably would be a good diagnosis there, but that's just not something that I'm interested in pursuing at right now, because I kind of like my own treatment of it, which meds help too, but that's for another podcast. But it's just, I think, growing in a world that's so different than when we were young, and only half of the world is growing out of that. So it's not so much this ADHD, autism, pandemic, and everybody has got, no, it's not. It's adjusting. It's constantly adjusting. And I mean, I remember my grandparents and, you know, they kind of had that like, well, I mean, they were sweethearts. It's not that, but like that children should be seen and not heard. And, you know, your house, your personal worth was almost based on the cleanliness of your house. And God forbid you went somewhere and there was a dish on the cupboard or pubes on the tub. I don't know. So it was really kind of rigid. Times are changing. They're not like that anymore. If I let my kids ride their bikes on the side of the road where I live, well, CPS would be called pronto because the cars go by so fast and everybody's laughing at their crotches while they're driving. And it's just not the way of the world anymore. And so it's kind of a generational thing too. Oh, that's another squirrely topic. We're going to talk about like I don't know how you say it, like inheriting objects from older. For example, I hate quilts. I hate fucking quilts. If you love me, you will not give me a quilt. A quilt is hard and it's cold and it's bulky and it takes up room and then I have to put it away. And so, and like dishes. I have never had anybody bougie enough come to my home where I'm going to take out the fine china. So like, thanks, but no thanks. But anyway, sorry, that was a squirrel. So anyway, you can have cupcakes. So you have chocolate cupcakes. You can have those little rainbow cupcakes, but it's kind of like autism. You can have stage 1 autism. You can have level 2 autism. You know, it can differ, but you can't just have a little bit cupcake. You have a cupcake or you don't. So you can't just have a little bit of autism. You can have a touch of autism. Yes, it is a spectrum, but thirst is a symptom of diabetes. If I am thirsty, I am not necessarily diabetic. Chest pain can be a symptom of a heart attack. If I have chest pain, it does not mean that I am actively having a heart attack. So it's to make that distinction. So that's why I like neurospicy, because I'm just unique. I don't need a diagnosis. I don't need, and I'm privileged because obviously, I kind of, I can't always control it, but I kind of understand. But I mean, I see a lot of parents, different cases, different children who, and adults who are struggling, whether it be at level 1 or whether it be at level 4. And we never ever want to downplay those challenges and those realities by bringing, and I say this, I bring humor. I think humor is very valuable, but never at the expense of somebody else and their struggles. So, and not if you say, oh, got a touch of autism, you're not a bad person. It's not a bad word, but just be vigilant of kind of what's behind that. And, who, what, when, where, why, how. I tell my kids, being smart is not based on what you know. It's based on what you do with what you know. Apparently that's still a work in progress. But anyway, that's what I told them. So the rest is up to them. I don't know. And so, I mean, a lot of people will tell me like, oh my God, Jen, I don't know how you do it with 4 kids. I thought that 1 kid was really hard. I was maxed out with just 1 kid because she was hard. She was a hard baby. But anybody who says that their first baby was easy, I want to know what that was like, because I believe you, but was your baby easy or were you chill? Because I was not chill. I thought I was, but then Ray came home one day and Reese was on the floor crying at my feet, and I was like blindly peeling carrots in the green bin, and it was like 2 p.m. So, and she was fine. It was just, when baby cries and screams and screams and screams and screams, and you're like on autopilot. So yeah, that was rough. When you have 4 kids, sometimes they play, like they entertain themselves or try to commit homicides against each other, but it's still an interaction, I guess. And so for me, I get exhausted-whelmulated. It's not having 4 kids that's hard per se. It's expensive as fuck, but it's not hard. It's to try to divide yourself equally in order to meet everybody's needs while not completely neglecting your own and trying to take care of yourself and your marriage and your household and do the chores and not flip out. And I think a lot of that is that old school mentality of my self-worth is based on the condition of my house, how organic my kids' lunches are. And that's another thing that I would like to see normalized. And that's going to be a big part of my show too. Let's normalize this because, again, we're questioning why we do this a certain way. So if my kid forgets their lunchbox, let's say, the automatic go-to is to call mom. Hey, mom, she forgot her lunchbox. Nothing, that's not the school's problem. I'm not ripping on the school. I think it's pretty traditional. Call her father. Why are we adding dads to the group chat? Like, okay, like hockey, dance, anything, birthday parties, add the dads, like lessen the load, please. We have different family dynamics and stuff, but we're doing our best. It's hard. If we can pass the torch, it's like the equivalent of a snow day. Like, yay, dad can look after that birthday party today. Dad can look after soccer practice today. So it's to kind of balance out the task intentionally, because people don't add moms to the group chat to be terrible people and to burden mom. It's not that. It's just a method of communication. But again, whoever signed and made that contract that it was mom's responsibility, get wrecked. Stop. Paul Nice. So yeah, with the whole like exhausted-whelmulation thing and 4 kids, it's dividing yourself. And so the sad reality of it is that like most of my crash outs are an accumulation of issues that have happened throughout the day that neither one of my children are necessarily aware. So, for example, I am sound asleep in my bed, dead asleep. child, because I mean, let's face it, they're a little entitled, and probably my fault. And that's another thing too. If I would have known my kids when I was a kid, I would have thought they were freaking loaded. We're not loaded. It's not that. But like, hello, I'm raising little feral fucking Kardashians here. But anyhow, so child stomps into my room. Mom, where's the milk? Are we out of milk? Is the milk expired? And like, so I'm still comatose here. Like, there's no signs of life. Mom, where's the milk? Where's the milk? Okay, well, that's a shitty alarm clock, but better than the dog puking, I guess. So, okay, so right there, it's like, I need to make a decision. Am I getting up? Do I go look for the milk? Do I tell her where to go look? What do I do? And it takes me a good, like, 23 hours to get my bearings. So she's a little slow starting there too. You gotta give me that. And so, okay, milk debacle solved. I have an 8-year-old who has slept in her own bed 3 nights. I get punched in the face when I'm sleeping. I get farted on. I get kicked. I get pushed. I get, you name it. Like, just picture it. You're sleeping with an 8-year-old. So already I'm touched out. Jen is not really a hugger. Like, no, not a hugger. And like, that's another thing I would really like to normalize, actually. Can we just, like, married couples, can we just have our own room now? Like, I just want my own. It's not that I don't like my husband. He is lovely. I would just maybe, like, set the timer for X many cuddle minutes and then be on my way in my Barbie room with my big blankets and just my big bed that I can starfish in and just die all by myself. Like, and it's, again, not a love thing, but just I just want my Barbie room. That's all. Like, not even just Barbie, but like, I want, like, nostalgic 90s. Like, I want my Minnie Mouse sleeping bag, and I want, like, maybe a couple Popples and a Care Bear. And I'm so homesick for those days. My God, my quince. Remember the quince? Anyway, 8-year-old sleeps in my bed. So then my other 8-year-old is very, very sensory seeking. And so we try to accommodate that in the home, because if you can't beat them, join them. And so we have little balance boards, and we have a chin-up bar in our living room doorway. One of my kids got an aerial swing. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, fresh hell, but we took that down because it was literally a liability, and I was sick of it. So with that sensory need, that is a lot of noise. And like balance boards, you've got like that thunk, thunk, thunk that like shakes the whole floor. And so like by this point, the eye is twitching. And like, if you've ever seen that Ben Affleck with a cigarette meme, like that speaks to me so hard, because you're just trying to keep it together. Like, you're just, it's taken everything, and your kid comes and they're like, can such and such come over? And you're like, not today. And like, tears are like in your eyes. And so then the last kid comes in, grabs a bowl of cereal, spills it on the floor. It takes a pop can like 300 years to break down. For me, it takes that. That's it. Drop the cereal after I have been overstimulated since the ass crack of dawn. I am done. Flip out. Gone. Then I feel bad. I feel horrible. And then my kids are like, why are you like this, Mom? And it's like, just because it feels like there are literal razors on my skin and I just slid down into a salt pond. Like, I'm just so done. And so that's kind of the hardest. And really, I am a fraud. I am a professional fraud. I teach emotional regulation and coping skills and behavioral strategies to children and adults, both, and co-regulation, all of those things. And I understand those techniques, those strategies, the meaning behind them, but I am 0% able to apply them to myself. But there's a light at the end of my fraud tunnel, because they say those who can't do teach. And so I feel like, because I get it and I see the struggle of applying them, that I can better support, versus if I was completely put together and sane, if that's even a thing. Like, has anybody like ever not crashed out at one point in their life. Like, I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I'm kind of a hot mess adult. Like, and like the juggling of the bills and the chores. Oh my God, the fucking clothes. Did you know that if you miss one load of, oh shit, I gotta put the clothes in the dryer too. If you miss one load of laundry, did you know that they clone into 5 more loads? Like, and I had a little strategy. So I had collapsible laundry baskets from Costco that I used to put in my laundry. Well, save your money? Absolutely fucking not. They're shit. Because they collapse with the laundry in them, and so then you're just climbing Mount Laundry for a living. So I bought a nice big hamper. So I thought like maybe the visual clutter would just be a little bit softer in this big hamper. No, it's still there. It still exists. And I guess it's not even a laundry basket thing. It's the fact that laundry exists. Ew. And so, yeah, then you find yourself on like Sunday from 1 to 5 p.m., like climbing Mount Laundry. And then you're like, hey, can you put your clothes away? They're like, sure. They take the toppling over pile of shit they don't wear, but just threw in the hamper to get it out of the way. And they just yeet it, like just yeet, and it's gone. And whatever, like let it stay on the floor until you decide it's got to be washed again. So yeah, that's fun. And then I lack the ability to say no. I am terrified of making anybody else uncomfortable to the point where I will deliberately make, I will, what's the word I'm looking for? Inconvenience myself in order to make it so that other people are not inconvenienced. And so I inherited many birds. A friend of mine wanted to get rid of her birds, and I love them, okay? Like, I'm not shit talking the birds here. However, when you're a hobby slut, you don't just get a few hens. So she was like, okay, so you want all of them? I was like, that's funny. And she's like, no, you're taking all of them, right? I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. So now and then because, did you know that neurospicy people often have a heightened sense of justice, which comes with the fear of saying no. And so we want everybody to be comfortable. We want everything to be okay in the world. We don't want to inconvenience. Like, we've got to be good here, okay? And so I was like, oh, roosters are so pitiful. People just kill them because they're roosters. Like, that's like whatever witch hunts there. Like, they just, you're a rooster, burn at the stake. Like, and so I decided to have like a little rooster sanctuary because I felt bad for the pretty roosters. This summer I ended up on 2 rounds of antibiotics because of an infection. My children are terrified to go outside. I'm so surprised that my neighbors have not assassinated me yet, like for real. Like, I cannot express how grateful I am that my neighbors are like, okay. And I know they're annoying because like I'm trying to downsize. So if anybody in this area would love a sweet pet rooster, I promise I won't give you the mean ones. But like, come take my roosters. I've got a lot and it's loud. And then I also inherited some geese. One of them, the mummy abandoned. And so we had a house goose for 5 weeks. Do you know what is not supposed to live in a house? A goose. If I was a robber and I walked into your home and there was a fucking goose looking at me in my face, I would not rob your home. Not because I'm scared of geese, but what kind of person has a house goose? Her name was Tula, short for spatula, and she lived in a Disney princess inflatable kiddie pool and thankfully the other geese accepted her back. She's part of the team. She's good, also loud. It's okay. And then we have ducks. Well, did you know ducks lay eggs? But they're very, very sneaky about it because they then hide their nests. And so 3 mornings ago, woke up, 9 little baby ducks. 9. These ones don't even have names because I am unloading. I'm downsizing. The ducks are going to go to a pretty like little pond. So I think in my brain, I thought that I lived like on like this hundreds of miles of acreage little pond and river sanctuary where all my birds would be happy and free. My garage is just full of shit, okay? Because I don't have room for them all and they fight. There's shit in my garage. I have to throw away my kids' Power Wheels. It's gross. But that's me in a nutshell. If I wasn't drowning in something, I would give myself something to drown in. So it's just the consequence of my idiosyncrasies, and I'm here for it. Can't stop, won't stop. So no beef with the birds. Oh, and we also have quail. That's a whole other ball game. Try to make an elaborate business plan with your 11-year-old. Do not recommend. Don't do it. And so, yeah. Anyway, that's it. So this summer, well, okay. So this has been my summer of nopes. Why nope, you say? Well, my brain has like a default setting where if something is people-y, it sounds the alarm. It's like, and I'm like instantly, no, I can't people. I don't like to people. And so we have said no to soccer. We have said no to any planned activities this summer. No, this is a summer to be outsidey because I'm not outdoorsy. I will sit on a deck and have a drinky poo and play a board game with you if the bugs aren't bad and it's not too hot or not too cold. And it's not like, I hate it when it's like wet, like not raining, but like muggy. So I get sweaty. I'm a sweaty guy. So yeah, I'm outsidey. I'm not outdoorsy. If you ask me to go hiking, I will call the police, like honestly. And you don't want that. That's no. So anyhow, this was my summer of nopes. I couldn't isolate completely like I was hoping and trying to. So I did immerse myself with people. And it was so fucking great. Like it was so fun. I love people. I hate the thought of people. Why is that? Why does my brain automatically like shut down and like, no, we're not doing that. I don't want to go to your barbecue. Fucking Charlie and Timothy with an EIGH. Like, I have to wash my goose today. Like, but I'm really trying to have a more positive outlook when it comes to people-y stuff. And I think really that I think it stems to my complete dislike of small talk. I hate small talk. Why do I hate small talk? Well, because small talk is like, hey, nice weather we're having. Meanwhile, I'm wearing my sunglasses in the rain and haven't even paid attention to the weather today because I don't care. I don't look outside sometimes. And when I do, it's like when you look on your phone to see what time it is, but you actually never register what time it is. Well, that's me with little things. And so they're like, when I have to talk about the weather, I'm like, I'm sweaty. And then it's like, oh, damn it. So I don't know what the opposite of dopamine is, but it's small talk. It gives me traveler's diarrhea. Like, don't ever ask me about the weather or give me a quilt if you love me, okay? But then somebody's like, hey, you want to talk about literacy and midline or crossing the midline? And I'm like, hold my beer. We're getting ready. We're going to sit. We are going to like divulge everything. You are my best friend. I love you. What is your phone number? Like, what is your Facebook? We just got married. Like, so, because that's a dopamine hit. If you talk to me about things that I like, which I mean, you don't know everything I like, and it's okay. You can have small talk. It's fine. I'm not going to like bite or anything. Like, I have thought of getting one of those dog leashes though. That's like nervous. Don't talk or don't approach, for myself, but, not yet. We're working. We're going to get through this. You and I, don't need a leash with the sign on it. So anyway, shit. What was I talking about? I lost my train. Oh yeah. Small talk. Yeah. So I think when you hit that like connection of like, oh, you are my people, then it's like, well, I'm not going to talk about the weather when I can talk about things that make me really happy or that I'm interested in or that I have banter and that I mean, I am going to hijack your conversation, however, because, and I do it as respectfully as possible. It comes off as rude. I get it. I can't help it. I will interrupt the shit out of you. Okay. The beginning of my sentence will rudely jump into the middle of yours because in my tabs, my 47.5 tabs or 48, I don't even 20, in my tabs, some of them have the most brilliant idea I have ever had. And if I don't immediately tell you that idea, the entire world as we know it will probably suffer, okay? I don't interrupt just for useless shit here. Like, this is it. I have unlocked. This is the Da Vinci Code. Like, so, but I'm just going to keep doing it over and over and over and over until you kind of hate talking to me, and I apologize. I don't mean to. I'm not trying to be rude. It's just, I can't help it. I really don't know how to turn that off. Also, another thing I do, I will hijack your conversations, not on purpose, not being rude, happens. So you're gonna be like, yeah, my grandmother who lives in France has diabetes. And I'm gonna be like, hey, I went to France before. We had gone and blah, 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 blah. Not because I'm rude, not because I don't care about diabetic granny. It's because the neurons in my brain, if that's a thing, I don't even know. No, that's the nerves, I think. The sparky things in my brain just like went ding because you said France. And then it brought up my friends. And it was like, oh, okay, so we're going to roll with this. And so then the conversation completely derailed and I feel like a piece of shit. Anybody else? Do we do that? No? Yes? I would like to know because I notice after I do it, but I can't stop doing it. So yes, love big talk, not small talk, except not when I ruin it by interrupting and derailing, but working on it. And several factors like time of day, how tired I am, the person I'm talking with, so it depends, but it happens regardless. So if ever it's happened to you, don't feel triggered, like you're not exempt. So yeah, anyway, I think that's it. Okay, one more. Okay. So my chaos this week, this summer. Okay. So my chaos. I work in education, so my schedule has it so that I'm finishing the end of June and then start again late August, early September. So my summer mission was, first of all, clean my office because I do a lot of meetings. I do a lot of, well, obviously now I'm podcasting and stuff, and it's just nice to have my own space. My office is a disaster right now. It is gross. It's sick. It's been kind of the shithole for all of the stuff we don't know what to do with. So anyway, the goal this summer, clean office, okay? So my porch is spotless. Kids' playroom, spotless. Even moved my piano, got a little music corner, it's lovely. Living room, awesome. Bathroom, well, I asked my kids to get rid of like some of their Bath and Body Works shit that smells like Patty the Daytime Hooker, and they just chucked it in a bunch of drawers. So I'm gonna have to take care of that myself. I'll piss them off, but walk around, find out. Yeah. So I have cleaned several areas of my home, except my office. We're gonna work on that. But anyway, but then I decided that I'm going to have a yard sale because. Buy my shit, please. Like, just, I don't want it here anymore. I don't know what to do with it. You can steal it, actually. Don't even buy it. I don't care. Just steal it. Give it to your neighbor's aunt's step kangaroo. I don't care. So now my house is taken over by like garbage bags of yard sale shit. So Ray's man cave is buried. My bedroom, I can't even see my lovely welcome to Pound Town sign that I have on my wall. Like it looks like one of those like always kiss me goodnight, but that Jen don't roll like that. And so yeah, my house is clean where you can see it, but where you can't, it literally looks like a Frenchie's, that's our local thrift store. It looks like a Frenchie's been like had the stomach flu. Okay. There's just shit and barf of trash everywhere. In my community, there's the mile-long yard sale in September. And so a whole bunch of people set up their yard sale shit. And a whole bunch of people travel from everywhere to go and buy said shit. And I should totally set that up. However, if I do that, that means that on a Saturday, I would have to wake up at like 6 a.m. 6 a.m. You know what? Yeah, I would rather drink Donald Trump's bathwater than wake up at 6 a.m. Immediately, no, not doing it. I hate that. It would be the best thing. I could just suck it up, take one for the team, and maybe get rid of a bit of shit. But 6 a.m. That's the killer right there. So also, I don't even know how to yard sale because executive dysfunction. And for those of you who don't really know what executive dysfunction means, it's like the it would be the steering wheel of the meat wagon that is your brain. Or in other words, the thing that manages the thing. So it's like the secretary of your brain who plans and organizes and measures the risk and knows how long a certain task will take, or who can distinguish right from wrong. And an executive dysfunction is when one or several of those things are severely underdeveloped and you're a shitty adult. So I don't even know how to yard sale. How many tables do I need? Do I need to put little price tags on shit? I don't know what to charge for my kids' hand-me-down friggin' jeans that they didn't wear because jeans are icky when you're under 30 and over 40. And so, nope, don't know. So stay tuned because I will be having a yard sale anytime from early September 2026 to hopefully before I just die. And at the rate I'm going, like I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Like, not in like in a risky way. Just yeah. Anyway, so I think that's enough for today. I don't want to bore you more than this. This has been a lot. This has been a lot to unpack. If you're still here, good for you, champ. Like, we belong. Like, and if you squirreled, if you had to side quest, if you shut me off, that's okay too. That's okay. All right. Still like it. And like, I embrace your weird regardless. Maybe we're not the same kind of weird. So I hope you guys join me next week. I'm hoping. Today was a close call, but the struggles persist, and so do I. So episode 2 is going to cover nagging and expectations. So that should be a good one because I am quite seasoned at nagging. So buckle up. So anyway, until next time, peace, love, and responding hi when someone says hi to you first. Thank you. Bye-bye.